Carl, thanks so much. Welcome to the Halftime Report. I'm Scott Wapner. Front and center this hour, we are on Rally Watch. Stocks attempting another broadening today, and we'll debate with the investment committee where best to be invested right now. Joining me for the hour, Josh Brown, Bill Baruch, Steve Weiss. Let's check the markets. We are, as we said, green across the board. We are on a 5-day winning streak. GDP was better than expected today. Yields falling, too. Maybe that's helping things out, despite the stronger data. I do want to begin with moves today, and we do have several. And that's kind of been the theme that we've been on, as all of you know. Many, many moves from the investment committee. Josh Brown, we start with you. We're looking at tech, and you sold AMD. It's just been straight since you bought it over the last few months, so you're out.
Yeah, so I put it on Halloween, and the stock's up. I think I was up like 87% in the name. This is one of the biggest winners of the last few months. I was lucky enough to be in it, but I'd never owned a lot of it. It was not a core position. I'm definitely not enough to take a victory lap. But keep in mind, this is a stock that's up 81%. I also own NVIDIA. In that same period of time, it's up 51%, and NVIDIA is a core position of mine. I have much more exposure there, and I just don't want to own both. I look at things like RSI when I make a decision of if a stock is too hot. AMD hit 78 relative strength index. It's 33% above its 50-day moving average. It's 60% above its 200-day moving average. When people come on the air on this network and others and say, oh, it's overbought, usually what they mean by that is I missed it. What I mean is technically it's over. I'm using RSI and percentage above the major moving averages. The stock has been up 61% of all trading days since I bought it, an average daily return of 1%. That is just absolutely ludicrous. It can't continue. I'm not saying the top is in. I'm saying no mas for me. I have too much exposure. I want to talk about semis in general. They're now 8% of the S&P 500. 3 years ago, they were 4% of the S&P 500. And how about this? They're the same size. Look at NVIDIA, 3.6% of the index. It's as big as the entire energy sector, which is 3.7%. It's bigger than materials. It's bigger than real estate. NVIDIA, one company. So that's where we are with semis, and I just want to have a little bit less exposure. So congrats to Lisa Su. Congrats to AMD longs. I'm out. Maybe I'll see you later at lower prices.
You got an AMD long sitting next to you. Not quite as long as you were, though, because you've trimmed this stock as well. And by the way, trim NVIDIA, too.
I did.
Tell us.
I did. I think Josh made a really great point. You look at these two together. They became our number 4 and 5 position, weighting together about 12% of the portfolio. And this is just prudent portfolio management. Here, I think the really big takeaway here is earnings are coming up. And basically what we saw over the last month and a half was an earnings beat. Now we good to go into earnings without taking all the risks. So I'm peeling these back a little bit, be able to watch it. I think the story with the chiplets, what AMD has done, is amazing. I don't think it's going anywhere. They're going to eat into a little bit of NVIDIA's business. They've already taken Intel's business. I mean, the stories will continue to be there. The revenue that's going to continue, I think, is going to meet expectations, potentially beat. But you look back at NVIDIA's earnings report in August. It beat expectations. What did it do afterwards? Nothing for 6 months. So what I'm thinking right here, and I've been waiting for this rotation more broadly, like, are we going to see it? Everybody thought I was going to start the year. Now is the time. Looking at that blow off. It doesn't have to be a top, but a blow off run. Then now we consolidate for the next few months. AMD and NVIDIA may not do anything, and just for that RSI point, not sell off. But then the RSI just kind of comes down, and then they're ready for the next run.
You could have a great company, but not a great entry price on a stock. Like, that's something that we sometimes lose. We get so excited about product launches and competitive advantages and chips and software platforms. It's also important to remember these are investments, and not every price is always the right price. So I agree with what you did. I think I agree with what I did. If they come out and report earnings and the stock's up 20%, I feel like I could live with it. Like I won't be thrilled, but I don't think I don't think I'm going to be in a monastery the next day.
Seeing, for the viewers, they're number 9 and 10 now, turned about 30% just to get granular than that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you getting as specific as possible. Obviously, I know our viewers do as well. We're seeing those stocks certainly come off their best levels of the session. It does